We're working on shoulder flexion. This is your shoulder flexion right here. This is bringing your arm up over your head. So we're going to work on your mobility of getting your arm up overhead, increase that, but then also strengthen you in these end ranges of motion so that we're stronger. A lot of times our body's going to typically we're tight because we lock ourselves, our nervous system locks you from getting into ranges of motion because it's worried it's going to injure itself there. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to start off with a little bit of a stretch, loosen you up a little bit, and then we're going to be doing a lot of different strengthening things in that end range of motion so your nervous system gets comfortable with allowing you to get back into those ranges of motion so you can get there in the future and not just in this one workout. We got to start doing this. It's got to be a routine so your body gets comfortable and strong in those positions so you can get there. And then when we get there in sport, especially if you're playing a contact sport, we're not getting injured when we get into those positions. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, if you've done any of these mobility things with me at school or any of these videos, we're going to just start off with a nice static stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into a child's pose position. You got two options. You can just have your arm down on the ground like this. I currently have my lat on stretch right here, which is what we're chasing. You could also try elevating this fist on a couch, on a table, on a stack of books, whatever you got. You could also try that. But our goal, what we're trying to do, is keep this lat on stretch, and we're going to be here for 2 minutes. The clock is already running. Mess around. You could try the thumb up. You could also try palm down. Completely your call. So after this 2-minute stretch, again, our right lat is on stretch. We're going to do a Pales rail. We're doing 1 rep. So we're going to ramp up in intensity. The Pales contraction is going to be pushing down into the ground. So we're going to actually utilize that lat that's on stretch. Think of it as like a dumbbell or a lat pull down pullover, like a standing pullover on a lat pull down tower. We're going to be pushing down into the ground, going from 20 to 100% effort. The 100% is like a max effort, max lift. It's just going to be 10 seconds as hard as you can, pushing down into the ground. The rails contraction of the Pales rails is the opposite. So the antagonist muscle group. We're going to actually try to lift your arm up off of the ground. All right? We'll hold that for 10 seconds, and then we'll relax in hopefully a little bit of a deeper range of motion for 30, and then we'll move on to some end range movements. So where are we at time-wise? We got about another 20 seconds. Lat should still have a little bit of a stretch. You might sink deeper during the course of the 2 minutes. While you're stretching, always nasal breathing, except for some of these Pales rails. The intense 80, 100% Pales, you're most likely going to be doing a little bit of mouth breathing and shallow breathing where you're barely breathing, if at all. So here we go. 20% effort, pushing downwards into the ground. Think about like swinging a hammer, making contact with the ground. 40. 60. 80. And 100. 10 seconds. Barely breathing, push it as hard as you can down, shaking's normal. 3 more seconds. And try to lift up. Don't move your torso, lift. Lift. If anything, sink your butt back deeper. Keep sinking back and lifting up. And relax. See if you can sink back even further. I just gained definitely a few inches of sinking back ability, getting my lat and my arm just overheaded a little bit more from that one Pales rails. We're here for 30. Good. You can stay in that child's pose if you like, or if you'd like to come out for a second, feel free. We're now going to strengthen you in these end ranges of motion. All right, so this is the goal here. We loosened you up, now we strengthen you in those spots. We're going to do lift-offs to start. We got 5 lift-offs. And we're going to hold the top for 5 seconds. So we're staying in that child's pose position. Find a challenging torso angle to where your arm is only getting off the ground an inch or 2. Maybe a few if you're super mobile. All right, everyone's going to vary on this. If you're that tight, you can't get it off the ground, intent is fine. Just do your best to try to lift off the ground. So I got a little bit of a lat stretch again. I'm going to take a huge breath in into my stomach, big nasal breath in. And lift, and we're holding. Down. You can go overhead. You can also fan your arm out into a little bit of a letter Y. Both are good. Both are accomplishing mainly the same thing, just slightly different. Ready? Nasal breath in. Lift. Down. Air in. Lift. Down. Breath in. Lift. Down. Air in. Lift. Bonus time on this one. Down. Now we're going to do a lift off and we're going to do circles. We're going 5 circles clockwise, 5 counterclockwise, really slow. Take it slow here. Big air in, lift it up, and draw your circles. As slow as you can, you're moving 1 mile per hour. That's my 5 clockwise. Five counter. We're going to do hovers now. So ideally have an object, a yoga block, shoe, water bottle. I'm using a U. Whatever you got, we're going to do a lift off. We're going to hover over the object. We're going up, over, down, up, over, back. That's 1. You got 5. Whenever you're ready, do it up. Nice and slow here too. If your object's too small, lift it way above your object. It's got to be a maximal height lift every single rep, or you're getting nothing out of this. All right, that's right arm is complete. Moving on to that left arm, same thing. All right, so find a stretch, get into that child's pose position, or try if you elevated your right arm onto an object, do that as well. Clock is ticking already. You guys know the drill. After this 2 minutes, tails, rails, ramping in intensity. Make sure you're nasal breathing right now. You should have a stretch in that lat. For future times of you doing this flow, thumbs up, palms down, fan the arm out into a letter Y. Try going completely overhead like I am right now. It's important to strengthen yourselves in different ranges of motion. So I highly encourage you. Also, if this is the only thing you're doing this flow twice, I personally would just go 2 times of everything. I would go left arm again, right arm again, or just start over from the beginning. Either way works, but I'd recommend it 2 in a row. And let's start ramping the intensity here. 20% effort, pushing down. 40. 60. 80. And 100. 10 seconds, as hard as you can drive into the floor with your hand. And lift up. Try to lift up. Keep pulling. And relax into your stretch. 30 seconds here. Try to sink back just a little bit further. Get back to that nasal breathing again. Try to breathe into your stomach. You should feel your stomach expanding into your thighs if you're in a pretty deep child's pose position. Liftoffs coming up here in 5 seconds. We're holding the top for 5. Last rep, we'll do a little extra time on the last hold. Ready? Breath in. Lift up. Down, lift up. Take a breath before every lift off. Down, air in. Up. Down, up. As high as you can lift it. We're holding for 10. Up. Down. Quick second off. And then we got our circles. We're going 5 circles in each direction. Whenever you're ready, let's start it up. Make sure you take a big breath in, and then you're shallow breathing during the circles. Don't do a full exhale at all. Ready? Up. Go slower to challenge yourself even more. Lift up higher. Keep trying to get it up. High off the ground as you can. Good. Last thing, whenever you're done with that, object if you got it. Higher object's going to be more challenging. Hovers, there and back equals 1. You got 5. Remember, slow. Slow up. If your object's short, go way above your object. Try not to lean to one side. Keep your torso squared to the earth. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do to tie it all together is we're going to do both arms same time. We're going to do something called an infinity swimmer. It's kind of like the handcuff that you may have done in a weight room type warm-up. Very similar concept. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with one hand on the lower back.
Lay.
Layla. It's a good dog. Go up there.
Sit. Good girl.
One hand at the lower back. One hand behind the head. You're going to lift at the elbows to start. Then you're going to get your hands off of your low back and head as high as you can. Then we're going to extend out at the elbow. And then we're going to switch positions in a nice and slow and controlled manner. When your arm hits that T-type shape, you flip the palm up or down. We'll reset every single time. There and back is 1. We're doing 5. So this will be done on your own. Again, nice and slow, just like everything else with these activities. When placing your hand behind the lower back, try to get it up as high as you can. And make sure we're constantly trying to lift our arms as high off the ground as you can. And that's a wrap. That's our shoulder flexion class. Whenever you got your 5 infinity swimmers done, you're all set. Hope you enjoyed it.